Welcome to Pammie's Craft Hut. In this video, we will be making a very versatile handbag with dual tone. I have identified 3 interesting ways to carry it. And the best part is, it is pretty yet simple to make. With it being versatile, pretty in looks and easy to make, it put this bag as a project not to be missed, and it makes this bag a great gift if you're thinking of making it for that special someone. The end product measures 26 cm wide, 25 cm in height, and 15 cm in depth. Let's start with the sides. I'm making this bag with 3 mm yarn. For each side, let's start with 18 pieces of 170 cm yarn of color 1. I will be working with white as my first color. The first piece of yarn folded into 2 to locate its middle point. Have it placed horizontally. Next, using lark's head knot, attach all 17 pieces to it. Leaving out the first and last 3 yarns on each side, we start to make square knots for the first row from the 4th yarn onwards. Let down the horizontal yarn. Together with the 3 leftmost and 3 rightmost yarns which we left untouched earlier, make a square knot at both ends. We have just completed our first row of square knots. Let's make another 22 rows of alternating square knots. We will need a total of 23 rows. Here's my 23 rows. We will do another 8 rows of 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1 square knots forming a V shape. With another 18 pieces of 170 cm yarns, make another similar piece. We will need a total of 2 pieces for the sides. Next, we will be constructing the front. I will be using grey as my second color. We will need 18 pieces of 190 cm yarns. Method will be exactly the same as the sides, just that we will make a total of 27 rows of alternating square knots instead of 23 rows. For the back now, I will be using grey color for this. Get ready 18 pieces of 230 cm yarns. Firstly, like the front and sides, we start with a horizontal piece. Thereafter, I will tie on 11 pieces of 230 cm with lark's head knot. Put aside the leftmost and the rightmost yarn and make 5 square knots in the center. Thereafter, put down the horizontal yarn and have 1 yarn added to each side using lark's head knot. Separate out the 2 leftmost and 2 rightmost yarns and make 6 square knots in the center. Do ensure that you should have a band created at the left and right corners. Separate out the horizontal yarn and tie on another yarn on the left and right with lark's head knot. And repeating the same process to leave out 2 leftmost and 2 rightmost yarns and create a row of square knots in the center. And again, on the horizontal line, using lark's head knot, tie in your last 2 yarns at each side. Thereafter, leaving out the 2 leftmost and 2 rightmost yarns, make a row of square knots in the center. This would be your 4th row of square knots. From this point onwards, make another 35 rows of alternating square knots. Thereafter, similar to the rest of the other pieces, you will make 8 rows of V-shaped square knots at the bottom of this piece. Here's my completed front and back pieces. With these 4 pieces, we will now assemble the bag. If you are looking for a simpler bag, you can just make 4 similar pieces as the sides and assemble the bag. Let's work on the underside of the pieces. Have the bag and one of the side placed next to each other. The 2 side yarns will be used as the filler yarns. With the yarns on each side, make 16 square knots. After each square knots, do leave the side yarns aside. After completing, my personal preference is to tie a simple overhand knot for each of the side yarns and have the rest trimmed short. Do not trim the filler yarns, leave it as it is. After joining this, you may want to also do the same for the front and another side piece. After joining and trimming, we will now combine the 2 sets together, using the same way of tying up with square knots. Once all the sides are done, we will be left with only 8 filler yarns. I will have 2 sets from opposite sides crisscrossed. After which, using the 4 yarns at the side, I will make 2 square knots. After completing, pull all the yarns taut. Again with simple overhand knots for all before trimming off. Sewing up the sides. Have 4 pieces of 150 cm yarns ready. Poke through one end with a craft needle. Fold the yarn into 2, poke the needle through till it reaches about the middle of the yarn, then sew through again. We will be making simple crisscross stitches at the side from bottoms up. Once done with the sewing, hide the ends inside the bag and have the ends slip through a nearest square knot before tying simple knot and trimming off. Do the same sewing for the rest of the other 3 sides. We will add on the handles to the side panels, 3rd row and around the 2nd square knot from each side. Have 4 pieces of 300 cm yarn ready for each handle. Using a crochet needle, I will add on 2 yarns each time. Do ensure that the yarns are having equal length and having its midpoint inside the bag. With the 4 yarns on the top hole, make a square knot. Thereafter, on the 2nd row, with the 2 yarns on each side, make a row of 2 square knots. I will be using Chinese crown knots for the handle. Split the 8 yarns into 2 yarns at the top, 2 yarns on the right, 2 yarns on the left, and 2 yarns at the bottom. Then place the right over bottom, bottom over left, and left over the top. Now, the top yarns will go into the hole created by the right and bottom yarns. Pull all the yarns tight. This is considered the first knot. Have a total of 70 knots tied. It will be about 32 cm long. Once completed, we will make 2 rows of square knot after the Chinese square knots. First row with 2 square knots and second row with 1 square knot. Mirroring the left side of the handle, with a crochet needle, have the yarns poke through around the second knot on the third row. Flip the bag inside out. Before I end and hide the knots, I will make 2 square knots. Thereafter, I will split the yarns into 4 sets of 2. With my tapered tailor's awl, I will slip through 2 yarns each time to its nearest square knot. Make 2 overhand knots before trimming off. Do the same process for the other handle. For this bag, I will be using a buckle. I will install the flap tip first. Unscrew it, find the most suitable center placement, and with my tapered tailor's awl, I will widen up the 2 holes. After which, I will have the tip poke through before tightening it up again. To fit the buckle, I will identify its best placement, then have it poke through the holes on the underside. Using a plier, I will have the wire plates folded in. There, we have completed this dual-tone handbag, which is so pretty and versatile. I hope you have enjoyed this project. Thank you for watching and do stay tuned in for more videos coming your way. Please support me by subscribing to my channel and hitting the bell icon to get notified on my new content. And if you like my videos, please excite me with the like button and also share the video with your friends.